Don't be a fucking pussy. Come on, chop chop. Rob starts laughing and chatting with Leeming, dropping plenty of niggers among the incomprehensible Chinese. Come on, Flynn, let's go. Start with Leeming tomorrow. It's fine, Flynn. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Control-Alt-Delete. I lock my computer, grab my jacket and follow this overly assertive mystery man. He leads me back out to the lifts and hits the button for the basement car park. Artem. He's one sick fucker, yeah? Oh, I don't really know him, to be honest. Well, that's lucky for you then. The elevator doors open and Rob leads the way to a spanking brand new black Range Rover. Hop in. Nice car. Yeah, I like it. Rob puts the Rover in neutral and revs the living hell out of it. I make sure my seatbelt is fastened, tight. Rob doesn't bother to click-clack and starts racing through the car park at a dementedly absurd pace to the exit. You in a bit of a rush, buddy? Where are we off to? We've got a meeting, a really fucking big meeting. You're Aussie, yeah? Yeah. Rob lowers his driver's side window and swipes his car to the exit. The red light flashes green. The boom gate journeys skyward. Rob beeps his horn as he drives the accelerator through the floor and sends a cluster of sidewalk pedestrians scurrying for their lives as we shoot past, fishtailing onto Lou Jazz Way Ring Road. Fuck, man, what's the hurry? What? You want me to pick your husband up? Nah, that's fine. He's busy with your wife. Ha, good. Hope someone's fucking her, sure not me. Okay, so, this meeting, the guys are like from the outback, you know what I mean? Rednecks, backward, sheep shaggers, cousin fuckers. You dig? Yeah, I gotcha. I'm holding the door handle so tight I feel I might rip off in my hand. Asian drivers at home are shocking, but it's usually through an inability to merge or smoothly go around a corner. That would be a damn welcome change from this nutcase. As Rob carries on chewing the fat, preparing me for the upcoming meeting with a bunch of cousin fuckers, he avoids the gridlock created by a red light up ahead by straddling the median strip, beeping at oncoming traffic rightfully put off by a black Range Rover taking up the outside of their lane, and continues on to drive straight through the red-lit intersection. Holy shit, man. You see, in China, people from Shanghai, they hate people from Beijing. People from Beijing hate people from Shanghai. That's fine. But these people we're meeting today, they are metal smelters from some disgusting place in southwest China. Horrible. They hate everyone. Everyone hates them. All they do is look fucking ugly, smelt metal and drink. Okay. So what do you need me for? We are now overtaking a truck, driving in the wrong lane at about 150 kilometres an hour around a blind corner through a tunnel. This is it for me. Today is surely my last. Well, this is good for you to see a proper Chinese business meeting. Artem says you'll be a trader soon. We fly out of the tunnel. The car actually gets airborne, and not for a nanosecond. No, my balls in the car have been in midair for a good few seconds. Fuck me. Rob doesn't seem too put off. We're now on an empty open road at least. If we do die a gruesome death on this stretch, then we probably won't be taking any innocent people with us. The snow on the side of the road and the high chance of black ice on the actual road certainly doesn't induce Rob to slow down at all. It's hard to tell precisely from my angle, but my view of the speedometer tells me we're closing in on 180 kilometres an hour. These meetings, these aren't what you'd call professional. As he says professional, he turns to look me in the eyes and takes both hands off the wheel to raise them over his head and fully gesticulate the inverted commas. Yeah, I get it. Eyes on the road when you're fucking breaking the sound barrier, hey? And stick with 10 and 2 on the wheel, maybe. You see, with these sorts of guys, if you can drink, they respect you. My other copper trader's on his honeymoon for a month. A whole fucking month. I may as well sort out the divorce paperwork for his return. I mean, shit. A whole month with your wife. Fuck that. But anyway, all the other operators, they're fucking pussy, man. You saw them here wearing their fucking Ugg boots. What the fuck is that? I'm from Shanghai, but I went to University of New South Wales. You Australians, holy fuck, you can drink. I saw the email from Artem that some Aussie was starting today. Fucking beauty, mate. Oh, I'm glad to help. His fucking beauty, mate accent is spot on. So, in this meeting, we'll be having lunch and drinking. These guys don't speak English, don't worry. You don't have to say anything, but they'll drink lots of baijiu. Baijiu? It's like Chinese tequila. It's what we drink to celebrate. When we have a baby, get married, you know, things like that. Anyway, these smelter guys, they know that all the trading houses make big money. We need to show these guys a good time, make them feel happy. They live in a shithole and their wives never suck their dick. Not that you'd want one of their pig wives sucking your dick, mind you. Fuck. You'd rather rub melted cheese on your knob and dangle it in the sewer for a rat to have a lick of. Anyway, you get the idea, yeah? Their life is shit. They make chump change compared to us. They come to the big city. All the trading houses want their business. They know this, so they choose who they'll buy their copper concentrate from, based on who they have the most fun with. They're all basically government employees, so even if they do a great job, they won't really get paid like they would in a Western company. So we have to buy them. It's not a bribe. It's just a welfare payment, you know? You don't have a problem with welfare, do you? No, of course not. We're now in some sort of outer district of Shanghai, and Rob starts to slow down to a more safety-conscious 100 kilometres an hour. So just come in, shake hands, smile, and when I tell you to drink, you drink. Okay, I got it. Oh, also, we'll be eating some strange food, mate. I know my Australian friends find Chinese food. No, flalos and Swiss pork. No, the real McCoy. I know they find it awful. Pig's tongue, sheep brains, duck vagina. All so tasty. Just eat what you can and drink everything. If you vomit or whatever, that's great. These guys will find it hilarious. So you want me to approach this business lunch like it's my 21st birthday? Exactly. We pull into a car park. Rob parks and we hop out. I ready myself to do Sion proud with the KPI of vomiting in front of the client, something I feel confident I can fulfill. The car park is empty aside from one bus. I notice a woman in a yellow one-piece ski suit pushing a stroller in the far corner of the car park. A black cat walks behind her. The whole bizarre experience has a very Matrix-esque feel about it. Rob leads the way inside the doors, along a red carpet and through a pair of golden arches. Not McDonald's arches, no. This looks like actual pure gold plating. As we pass through the arches, a stunning woman stands in a sleeveless, full-length red silk dress behind an antique chest that was surely crafted during the Ming Dynasty. Her cartoon Astro Boy face, milk-white newborn skin and butter-soft, slender shoulders look fresh from another world. Without saying a word, she presses a button on the chest before leading us through a vacant hall of round tables, lazy Susans and enough fish, eel and crab-stacked aquariums to fill the East China Sea. We continue to the far end of this main hall to an inconspicuous door. Before we enter, she says something to Rob, sending him into fits of boyish giggles. Rob gives me a wink as he opens the door. We step inside. 5 seriously overweight, middle-aged Chinese men are seated at yet another lazy Susan table. They look startled and breathless, but manage to cheers Rob as we enter the room, each of them raising their goblet-looking Chinese pewter mug equivalents. They briefly look me over with suspicion before returning their full attention to the white tablecloth. Rob circles the room, saying hello, beaming the silky slime smile of a seasoned outperforming salesman as he completes the lap. I motion to take one of the remaining 2 seats at the table before Rob reaches his arm across my chest, halting me effortlessly. One of the men thumps his right fist into the table and exhales deeply, slouching back in his chair. The others complete similar bouts of peculiar behaviour. A young lady, almost the identical twin to the concierge woman, pops her head out from beneath the hem of the immaculate silk tablecloth. The one woman under the table is followed by 4 more. The quintuplet gobby sisters scoot out from under the cloth and proceed out of the room, straightening their red silk dresses, wiping their chins and adjusting the chopsticks through their hair buns. The gents all look far more welcoming now, freshly noshed off by undercover goddesses. Rob picks out a packet of cigars from his coat pocket and hands them around the room, and we take a seat. The room fills with smoke. My mind is choked with Circular Road karaoke flashbacks. My cheeks are bloated with bum-puff drags. The original hostess wheels in a tray filled with ornate bottles. It must be the famous Bijou. And a massive silver teapot. She passes around menus and fills everyone's goblets with tea. Rob hands the menus back to the girl and must be saying in Chinese what the order is. I assume he doesn't need my advice that another round of blowjobs would be great. Thanks, mate. He speaks with the woman for another minute or so. One of the smelter guys starts to drink his tea, so I assume it won't be rude to try mine. Fucking hell, it's rancid. It tastes like reheated water direct from the bunt. I need a few litres of Evian, Colgate and a lengthy visit to the dentist to rid the filth from my gums. The most repulsive of the smelter team grabs a bottle of Bijou from the tray and is filling up shot glasses for each of us. Before we can all toast and consume, Rob delivers a reverential sounding speech in Chinese, but finishes by addressing me in English. Flynn, please take the honours to commemorate the occasion. All the guys place their shot glasses on the lazy Susan, and Rob swings them all around to be now in front of me. Please, Flynn, as you know, the number 7 holds great importance. It symbolises togetherness. Together in business, together in life. Together, we grow stronger. Please stand now and finish the 7 shots and we'll see not only your strength, but can look forward to continued strength and prosperity together. What a fucking stitcher. I look at each of the faces around the table. I've somehow found myself in an Oriental Knights Templar. Well, fuck it. I bring the first shot glass to my lips and take a final glance around the table. They're all smiles. I down it. Ugh, fuck that. The guys cheer. I grab 2 more of the glasses, one in each hand, up and down the hatch. My throat is fire. My temple's about to burst. The boys cheer louder. I see Rob with tears on his cheeks, a smile ear to ear. I grab another 2. Down. Fuck! I falter, briefly blacking out, almost collapsing on the table, taking my body weight wholly through my arms. The guys are all in hysterics. Rob starts cheering. 2 more! 2 more! The others join in and scream with him. Before Before I can crumple back in my chair, I grab the final two. Done. Hideous. I sink in my seat. The men all stand and cheer. My throat is an exhaust pipe. My stomach churns. The pressure behind my forehead feels like it will escape through my eyeballs. I'm covered in sweat. I grab my goblet filled with lukewarm tea, memories of its unique taste of wretchedness already forgotten in a bijou hallucination, and scull it. The horrid bunt runoff fills my mouth as Rob slaps me on the left shoulder. I hunch forward, vomiting all over the floor. The room explodes in laughter. I continue to yak pure bijou and huangpu tea. The carpet is covered. I sit back up, vomit residue glued to my chin. Rob refills everyone's glasses. With my hands on my knees and more spew looming, I look up from my chair through a daze. 6 men are standing to raise their glasses. Cheers, Mr. Fuin! I check my phone. 11:47 a.m. I excuse myself to the bathroom, asking Rob for directions. The main room of the restaurant now has a few more patrons. Families, young children. No one too likely to order the sub-table services. I follow the directions to the restrooms, seeing the universal gents stick figure signage in the far corner. As I walk in, there is a wall mirror atop one elongated hand basin housing 5 taps. The opposing wall is lined with a series of stalls. No urinals anywhere. None of the stalls have doors. No matter. I walk to the second of the row, stopping my tracks with a grown man hunched naked over the squat toilet, pushing both arms out for leverage against the sides of the open cubicle, face squished into a heavily constipated emoji. Sorry, buddy. Fucking hell, this place is rough. I've lost any desire to piss, shit, breathe or live. I park at the wash basin, splashing water in my face, staring down the drain, hands over my ears, no match for a room filled with the sound bites of a grown man's tireless efforts to take a dump. I splash my face a final time, clearing all the vomit, and walk back out, catching a second glimpse of the poor fella, squatting and sweating. I wish him the best. He doesn't notice. I continue out. Across the room, 2 of the waitresses are wheeling large empty trolleys as they exit Sion's business lunch private room. Rob welcomes me back to the table, now filled with steaming pots, hot plates and all manner of intensely foreign dishes. The 2 centerpieces are elaborate gold trays filled with ice, oysters, eels and live lobsters. Their claws are clicking, antennae darting through the air, black eyes staring straight at me. Rob motions me to a dish. Start with this one, Flynn. It's your favourite, mate. Shrimp. There is a large bowl filled with tiny brown prawn impersonators. They're all definitely still alive too, their tails wagging slowly. I'm certain it's not a bijou hallucination. These shrimp are a little too fresh for my liking. Here, Flynn, have some shrimp. They're so fresh here, the best in China. Rob grabs my plate, first filling the shrimp bowl with a long splash of bijou, then loading my plate. I look down at the drunk shrimp as I grab my chopsticks, picking out the most dead-looking of the bunch. I feel it wriggling on my tongue, its tail brushing my palate. I crunch down, swallowing my first kill, reluctantly washing it down with some tea. Absolutely atrocious. I smash down some more bijou. Rob is chatting busily with the smelters. Their sleeves all rolled to the elbows, bibs covering their shirts, one man taking the seafood scissors to a live lobster's claw, cracking it open and munching away, fitting in gulps of tea and bijou between speaking through a full mouth, never taking a breath. I finish my shrimp. Rob fills my soup bowl with something I can only hope is pumpkin soup. It's probably a duck vagina stew though. My only chance to get through this is to drink. I fill up on bijou and pray my memory of this whole experience will at least be hazy. Waitresses return to clear the plates and refill the drinks. Most of the gents pinch the girls' asses, laughing to each other and spitting on the floor. If China takes over the world, we really are fucked. The table is fully cleared and Rob asks me to move my chair to the side so they can set up the main course. Please be blowjobs. I've definitely earned one. The original hostess removes the lazy Susan and reveals a small circular open portion in the middle of the table. Rob whispers in my ear, just stay cool. 2 women return with an empty trolley. They close the door behind them as I swig another bijou hit. The men are dead quiet, the distinctive yelp of an evolutionary forefather shutting them up. The women remove the linen trolley cloth. It's a fucking monkey. The men cheer and smile. The monkey looks horrific. Arms tied around its back, feet also tied together, seated on the base of the trolley. The top of the trolley is removed and the women push the monkey-loaded contraption past me and underneath the table. The constipated bloke from the toilets enters the room wearing a white butcher's apron, carrying a huge cleaver. He walks to the table side as the monkey's head pops through the gap. The ladies pop back out from beneath the tablecloth. The cleaver-toting constipee leans to the middle of the table, pressing some magic button that causes a wood panel to close over the hole, locking the monkey's head, guillotined and crying. This is fucked. The monkey is still alive as this man cleaves directly through the skull of the poor, defenceless animal. Rob presses down firmly on my shoulder. I watch on numb. The others continue cheering. Looks of delight fill their eyes as the skull pops open. Rob motions to the man who must be the head smelter to take the first bite. The chef cuts out a slice of brain, blood-filled and inches from its owner's eyes, placing it on the smelter fella's plate. The men watch on as he chews for a few moments before swallowing. The room erupts, tears of laughter and joy. The monkey's eyes now closed. Please, please. I can only hope he's dead. I swig baijiu direct from the bottle. Piece by piece, the brain is consumed and the men's bond grows stronger. I'm the last to be included, swigging a hospitalising serving of baijiu as the cortex lies on my plate. I look at Rob and the men in the room. One more swig. Bring the fork to my mouth and swallow it whole. You'd think I just walked on water. Everyone stands and applauds. I'm certain to vomit. I swallowed so fast I will thankfully never know the taste. The senior member of the smelting party commands everyone's attention, bringing his palms together with fingers outstretched and grasps his fingers through each other, saying the same few words over and over as he rocks his clenched fist solemnly back and forth in the middle of his chest. Everyone shakes hands, beaming and embracing. Rob whispers in my ear. He just said, "Together we do much business this year, next year, and forevermore. Good work, you fucking crazy Aussie." I meet the other smiling faces at the round table. I do my best to fake a heartfelt grin and raise the baijiu bottle to the ceiling. Everyone watches me closely while I look down at the monkey's empty skull and feel tears about to flow from my eyes. I tip baijiu down my throat until the bottle's empty and I'm deafened by the smelting applause. It's 7 a.m. on Christmas morning in Shanghai. I'm lying in bed, toasty warm, having finally solved the Star Wars heater button puzzle. Through the bay window, I'm looking out at a slowly falling blanket of snow. My first white Christmas since I was an exchange student in Germany 15 years ago. The bucketing snow has caused the cats to cancel their morning fight club and celebrate the birth of Jesus in laneway harmony. I grab my phone and send text to Noel to family and friends sweltering back in Sydney. There is no public holiday for Christmas in China. I hop out of bed and don the velour tracksuit for my morning exercise routine, more appropriately measured in seconds than minutes, though my once taut body is trying to make a comeback. When I'm not invited to business lunch meetings as the consultant alcoholic Westerner, I'm spending at least an hour every midday swimming laps in the Shangri-La indoor rooftop pool, Flynn James. Between the lap swimming, the morning home fitness workout and rediscovering the joys of walking unaccompanied by torrents of Singapore sweat, I'm almost looking respectable with a shirt off. Almost. I throw the velour to the floor, jump in the shower and get busy with the tried and tested shit-shave spruce routine. I close the door behind me and set off. I never did find that turtle again. I trudge with ease through the laneway snow thanks to a new pair of Columbia winter boots. I'm sure they're counterfeit Columbians, but they were reasonably expensive, so at least they're a good fake, the best you can hope for in making a purchase in China. I keep the Italian leather-soled death traps at work. There's only so many times you want to skate to work over the black ice or have fellow train commuters scuff the overpriced gloss off your fancy shoes. My footpath pedestrian management program has blossomed. Before exiting the gate of my lanehouse complex each morning, I thump my left palm into my right shoulder 4 times and sing to myself, Gummate, fuck yo. It's my Australian abroad Kiwi hucker tribute to rev me up for the ensuing 2 blocks of shoulder charging my way to the station. It works. I've made no friends in this French concession so far, but I've definitely created some respectful enemies by refusing to play ball with their footpath hogging game plan. Playing chicken on the way to work is fine when you're weighing in about 30 kilograms heavier and a foot taller than your opposing roosters. The subway commute still haunts me. There's no way possible to shoulder charge your way to comfort on a dangerously overcrowded train. I blame Pavlov for the immediate shudder that engulfs me each day as I pass through the turnstiles and down the stairs leading to the platform. The 3-stop journey always ends with mixed feelings of physical violation and psychological torment. Christmas morning is no different. On my usual momentary wreck of frazzled synapses as I step off the train and onto the Lu Jiazwei platform and enjoy the relief of an entire 1 metre radius of free space to call my own. I delve deep into my winter clothing cocoon and fish out my wallet, multiple layers from the outer jacket shell. Any wannabe pickpocket will have a better chance of giving me a covert prostate examination than pinching my wallet. I walk the final few metres of Lu Jiazwei Ring Road to the office through a rapidly intensifying snowstorm. Sweeping gusts of wind whip falling snow into horizontal ice pellets. I slip my eyes for protection from the storm in a gesture of survival and assimilation. I continue inside to the elevator's warmth. once more cramped in with too many people in too small a space. I swipe my card and grab my seat. It's 8:26 a.m. The office is empty. I start reading back through my notes and write down what details I need to chase up today. I'm not at all bothered that I have to work on the holiest of holidays. I've got no friends here, nor do I have anything of any real joy or value to do that doesn't involve learning the ropes of copper concentrates trading, drinking baijiu till I vomit, or swimming laps in the chlorinated heat of the Shangri-La pool. My first 3 weeks in the People's Republic have been intense, accompanying Rob to meetings all over the country and repeating the performance of my first day over and over again, winning him plenty of business for next year after making sure the company health insurance plan included generous compensation for premature liver necrosis. When not evading death in Rob's Range Rover, I am thoroughly put through my paces by Li Ming. Her crash course in copper concentrate operations is not helped by my being perpetually hungover or simply outright drunk. Regardless, Li Ming carries on, emailing me hundreds of pages of files and manuals as I take my seat in the morning, then testing my knowledge meticulously before she heads home around 7 p.m. In much the same way Jana's seat next to me in Singapore ensured I couldn't possibly slacken off. I'm grateful for Li Ming's oversight. She knows Rob well and is fully aware of the alcohol-filled torture he is putting me through on an almost daily basis. She doesn't give a fuck. She ploughs on with her teachings with even greater intensity. In the course of what untrained eyes could view as a 3-week booze bender, I've proven to myself I am a highly functioning alcoholic. I force my way through whatever hangover Rob has stitched me up with and take my seat each morning next to Li Ming, certain she is about to impart some priceless knowledge and doubly certain to write everything down no matter how obvious it may seem at the time of scribbling. In 3 weeks of Operations 101, I'm now blessed with a comprehensive awareness of the intricacies of obtaining financing for cargoes, the shipping paperwork and coordination required to ensure a cargo can be ferried around the globe, how to ensure an assay is verifiable and able to be legally challenged if a cargo arrives with off-spec material, and finally, how best to piece together a purchase or sales contract, depending on the likely nature of the copper concentrate being purchased, and the eventual end destination to sell it to. As God would be well aware, the devil is in the detail, and where the devil is lurking, easy profits and capitalist utopia are sure to be hiding. Satan is without question a lawyer, and he has racked up hefty consultation fees through assisting Scion in drawing up our contracts. Copper concentrates are the middle ground in the earth pillaging to retail distribution non-circle of life. There is copper in the ground all over the globe, usually bonded tightly to dirt, gold, silver, and many more subgroups of buried treasure and lethal carcinogens. Thanks to mining monoliths, this mishmash collection of subterranean bedfellows will eventually find their way under shovels of varying magnitudes and face initial processing after a quick truck or travelator ride. The initial processing, the milling, will turn a body of dirt which may have contained 1 or 2 parts per hundred of copper into a concentrate of 15 to 40 parts per hundred. The hallowed brown earth of South America, home to Incan cities of gold and arid meadows laced with marching powder, is also home to ore bodies rich in copper. Our Spanish-speaking oremongers, located primarily in Santiago and Lima, source an endless bevy of copper concentrate to ship across the Pacific Ocean and fill Chinese smelters with. Once robbers grease the capitalist wheels of communism with blowjobs, baijiu and monkey brains, Scion is paid handsomely and the cousin-fucking smelters refine our concentrate into copper blister and then, eventually, 99.99% refined copper cathode is ready to glisten and gleam in almost every manner of 21st century application. The true kicker to turn this reputable business of questionable morality into a more refined corporate juggernaut of sickening profitability comes with a combination of fine print, a seasoned understanding of probability, and the enduring lure of gold. Life is risky. That's why actuaries are always so lonely. No one wants to face the truth. But there seems little upside in placing all that probability know-how to use on life insurance premium calculations, when you could be lining purchase and sales contracts and all sorts of embedded options and pricing triggers. The game is rigged to something like this. Each concentrate body of material will have its own unique combination of good, great, and bad things. Copper is good, obviously. The hint's in the name. This is the copper concentrates department. Gold and silver are great, precious metals of unquestioned divinity, especially glowing when bundled in bullion. Bad things, well, you're bound to have sulfur, arsenic, and plenty of other nasty bits and pieces which are costly to extract away from your good and great things, and even more costly to dispose safely of. That disposal cost is not something I think too many Chinese businessmen or regulators are overly concerned with. So, to place a monetary value on the concentrate, you need a pros and cons ledger. It's fairly straightforward. There are live exchange listed prices for copper, gold and silver. So take the assay reported content of these metals in the concentrate and multiply that by the price on the exchange. That was easy. Now you'll have a cost involved in ridding your material of the nasties, no worries. Impose a penalty. Let's say $100 per tonne or something. The number's not important. The concept is all that matters. Good things balance with bad things, and don't forget all the other usual costs like shipping, insurance, etc., to give you a final dollar value. Okay, now if you are a retarded, non-threatening, rarely thinking member of society and are happy to transact business as above, that's fine. You'll be happily employed in a governmental role somewhere. You'll praise God for the food on your table, think there's true honour in working 9 to 5 for the better part of a lifetime, and probably cry tears of genuine joy when your child receives a participation ribbon at the local school swimming carnival. There's nothing wrong with that. You're right in the meaty heart of honourable civilization, and you've got plenty of company. But when the chief requirement of your bloated paycheck is to create money from thin air, you need to be a little more thoughtful than simply taking a quantity of metal and multiplying it by a price on an exchange to think you deserve to be anything but fired. So, what's a poor, aspiring capitalist to do? Create a potential trough of dizzying profits for the client's greedy snout. That's what. Rather than simply assign a dollar value to an amount of metal, let's have a cascade of pricing premiums and discounts assigned to the specific amount of metal in a concentrate. For instance, the overwhelming majority of copper concentrates will have a copper content of 25 to 35%. If you're selling concentrate, you'll get a higher price if the material has a higher content of copper. That makes sense. 5,000 tonnes of copper concentrate times 30% copper assay times listed copper price of $7,000 per tonne, $10.5 million. Done. But what if the concentrate you've worked so hard to pilfer from the Earth's crust has a low percentage of copper? Ugh, the humanity. The whole process was a waste of time. Why do bad things happen to good people? Never mind. Our purchasing contract pays a small premium for concentrates with 20 to 25%. What? Why? Well, this guarantees we get the lion's share of business. Most other companies will refuse to buy the stuff with a content lower than 25%. So we can be certain the miners are happy to deal and prevent their downside risk, a risk which is always far bigger and more imminent than its upside twin. But how can we offer this? God won't like this one bit. Well, the fine print, inked, as always, at Satan's brothel, instigates a zero payment for all gold and silver in the event of a sub 25% copper quota in the concentrate. No biggie. The Julios, Javiers, Jose's and Jesuses of Latin America aren't overly in love with the precious metal. They dutifully see the certainty of profitable copper dealing for what it is, good business. But copper is priced in thousands of dollars per tonne. Gold is priced in thousands per ounce. And our Chinese end users are enamoured with gold's lustre. The copper component of the concentrate may be borderline, but we can sell them a lower content of copper at an unbeatable price because we will only charge a modest amount for any gold and silver ready to be unleashed via the refining of the concentrate. That's easy when we paid zilch for it to begin with. Lee Ming arrives as I'm reading back through one of my countless notebooks. It's Christmas. Take the day off, Lynn. It's fine. Quick, go now. Before anyone else sees you. Wow, thanks so much. Are you sure? Of course. Go home. Merry Christmas. I take off out the door, down the elevator and straight back into the grips of a late December snowstorm. I decide to escape the cold and spend the rest of Christmas morning at the Shangri-La. Not swimming laps though. I think I'll have a sauna and a spa. Baby Jesus would like that.